Hello and welcome guys to a new episode on Sport Predictor Fanatic. Today we're going to predict the first four matches of the 1A final or the round of 16 called. Let's get straight into it. We're going to start off with Tommy Paul against Bautista Agut. Tommy Paul actually conceded a set against clay quarters Pedro Martinez in the first round, then conceded two sets against qualifier Vertane, beating him in 5 sets. But then in round 3 he came up against a real challenge in Alexander Bublik. But he actually stepped up his game, played a fantastic match. Both the forehand and backhand both looked really good. And actually beating him in straight sets, losing no more than 4 games per set, which was really impressive. I actually watched that match and it was a really fun match to watch, actually, as I predicted, basically. Paul has actually made some improvements on grass this year and has now made the 1A finals for the second time in his career at Wimbledon. The first 1A final he's ever reached, he lost in straight sets. He is currently, though, at an 8-match winning streak on grass. His best ever run on grass, and I think that's including the ATP title at Eastbourne, if I'm correct. Bautista Agut, on the other hand, has had a drop in performance in recent years. This grass string actually made saw him made an rare appearance at the quarterfinals at an ATP tournament at Mallorca on grass. He made good use of the favorable draw he actually had at Wimbledon, defeating Marta, Sonego and Fognini. But he actually has a record of 2 wins and 11 losses at slams in this round, which is of course not too good. His last win in this round was actually in 2019, so 5 years ago, but it was at Wimbledon. Their head-to-head record is 3-2 in favor of Bautista Agut, but notably the first 3 matchups were for Bautista Agut and the last 2 were for Tommy Paul. And I think with Tommy Paul actually improving his level, that he will get the win here, being the more consistent player in recent times, let's say like that. Tommy Paul will win this matchup. Then we have Carlos Alcaraz against Hugo Humbert. Alcaraz actually seemed to be in trouble, but also in control in his last match against Tiafoe. It was a really close match, it was a really fun match to watch, but although Alcaraz went first 1-0 down, then 1-1, then it was 2-1 down, it never seemed like he was actually going to lose that match, which is really weird to say, but it actually is a fact. But that's also due to his impressive record at 5-set matches at Slam. He has actually only lost 1 5-set match at a Slam ever. His record with that win against Tiafoe now is actually 12 wins out of the 13 5-setters he has played, which is a crazy stat. Alcaraz with that is of course super confident, having faced some struggles last year as well at Wimbledon, but still winning the final against Djokovic, who's actually not lost a match at Wimbledon since 2013, I think it was. Humbert has had some struggles leading up to Wimbledon, but at Wimbledon he has reached the 1/8 finals, which is really impressive. He beat Shevchenko in the first round in a 5-setter, then had a 3-setter against Van de Salzkamp, where the first set was really deciding, because I think whoever won the first set would have won the match. And then a 5-setter against Brandon Nakashima. Humbert with that has only reached this round back at Wimbledon in 2019, where he lost against Novak Djokovic. I think with the experience and confidence Alcaraz has in these kind of rounds of a slam, he will get the win here. And then we have Yannick Sinner against Ben Shelton. Sinner has shown his skill once again here in the last matchup against Kekmanovic. He won that match with 6-1, 6-4 and 6-2, which was, I think, his most impressive and best match he has had on grass this grass season. The matches before at Wimbledon also didn't look that impressive. He won, I think, both times in 4 sets, but he was playing against players he shouldn't lose a set to, but he still did. He was, I think, against an out of form Martyr, if I'm correct. But yeah, something like that, at least. So he wasn't really playing that impressive. But Sinner actually holds an impressive record as it comes to first weeks at a Grand Slam. He's actually only lost once since he became 20 at a slam in the first week. With that, his record as being 34 wins out of 35 matches, and with reaching the second weeks in 11 out of his 12 slams he's played since he turned 20. Sinner actually has a record of 2 wins and 0 losses in this round of Wimbledon. And Shelton, on the other hand, didn't have like the best of seasons this season, but due to his resilience, belief in himself, and just the confidence he has also like won some close contested matches. With that, also the last round he was against Shapovalov in a close 5-setter. He won that matchup, but the 2 matches before that were also 5-setters. With that, I think Sinner is going to win, but Shelton has actually always proven to be really, really freaking good against top 10 players, so that will be interesting. But yeah, I think Sinner's form will get him this dub. And then we have Dimitrov against Medvedev. Medvedev has had some troubled history with rain interruption at Wimbledon. In 2021, he famously lost his momentum when he had to come back the next day after a rain delay, where I think he was 2-0 up against Hubert Hurkacz. But in the end, on the second day, he lost everything, with Hubert Hurkacz winning, losing out on his first quarterfinals at Wimbledon ever for him at that time. But last year he rectified that with reaching the semi-finals. And this year, the last round he won against Jan-Lennart Struff with a rain interruption. But yeah, Medvedev didn't seem to have dropped his game and still won. Medvedev has also had some fitness related issues the last few months, but has looked good at this Wimbledon for now. Dimitrov has had 2 easy matches with 1 struggle in the second round. In the second round he faced Zhang and was 2-0 down, but had an amazing comeback and won the match in the end. The other 2 matches were against Lajovic and against Gael Monfils, but he beat them both in 3-setters. Dimitrov hasn't reached the quarterfinal of Wimbledon since 2014, which is a long time ago. He was close in 2017 and 2023, so last year. But I think last year he lost against Holger Rune in a close contested match, and and in 2017 I think he lost against Novak Djokovic. Dimitrov actually holds a really good record with 5 wins and 4 losses against top 10 players this year. And with that, he will be pretty confident to play against Medvedev. Medvedev does hold a record of 7 wins and 3 losses against Dimitrov, though. But on grass, it is actually 1-0 in favor of Grigor Dimitrov. I think with that said, Dimitrov actually looks a little bit better on grass, and he will be pretty confident. So I actually think Dimitrov will get the win here. So yeah, I will leave it here for now. Come back tomorrow for the other 4 matches in this 1/8 finals. And I will see you tomorrow.